Good afternoon, Falcon families and staff. We have reached the month of May, which is our final month of school. And since it's a Friday, it's time for another blast. We're going to kick things off right away with our cooperative learning focus and what we call Science on the Sidewalk. Let's hear from Miss Mothersbaugh and Miss Jorgensen, our 7th grade science teachers, so they can share more with you about this awesome activity.
Okay, so I'm here with our 7th grade science teachers, and the first question that I had was, where in the world is Pluto? And so this was a question that was asked by one of your kiddos today as they were outside engaging in what we call Science on the Sidewalk. Talk to us about this lesson. Like, what is the purpose behind this lesson? What are the kids doing today?
We were trying to make it a little bit more concrete, this abstract idea of how far the planets are from each other and from the sun. So, because when we do it on paper, they think everything is really close together. But we needed them to understand that, Pluto was 30 or 49 astrological units away from us. So, super far away. And so then they went outside, they counted their steps from the sun to the planet so that it gave them more of a concrete of like, oh, it only took me 2 steps to go here, but 100 and something to go to Pluto. And then each sign had information about the planets that they had to fill in.
So here's a shot of our students outside completing their reference sheets as they looked at various planets and measured the distance between those planets. This activity had a lot of personal accountability for our students because they needed this information to do the activity that came next, which was very much an interdependent learning activity. Let's hear a little bit more about how that activity went.
So the kids have this reference sheet that they have just created, and then you have them participate in orbital paths around the sun. Talk to me about that.
So because all the planets are so spaced out, we felt like we needed to also model that revolving takes so much longer when you're further away around the sun. So for example, a year in Pluto is how many years? Like how many
248.
248 Earth years long. So we went to the lower lot and had fishing line, and we had all of these different celestial bodies in the solar system practicing moving around the sun. And the further away you were, the faster you had to go to keep up with the planets that were closer to the sun.
And we had them count their steps so that they could see that the people like Mercury, that the person that was Mercury only had to take 4 steps.
I think it was 8.
Okay, and then Pluto or even the Kuiper Belt, they had to do 19 or something.
20.
So they were realizing that it was taking them longer to get to the same point.
So the kids have this reference sheet that they...
So as I talked with students about this activity, they shared with me that they found it much more meaningful to measure the distance between the planets by having to walk the length of our fence almost down to Kellison to find Pluto, by the way, but to see just how far different planets are from one another, and then to practice the rotation of the planets around the sun on our lower parking lot. So students said this was, again, way more meaningful than seeing this on a slide or on a poster. And I'm sure that our students are going to remember it. Also, just a super great way for our students to engage in learning together using cooperative learning. Excellent job to our 7th grade science teachers. And now I want to get into some reflection and learning with, yes, you got it, cardboard boat racing. Let's take a look at our boats in action just earlier today.
Look at that one! Woo! You got this, let's go!
Ocean! Frank Ocean! Oh yeah!
And that was our stretch teacher, Miss Jane DeLong. You hear in the background as she's cheering on our students. All of our kids in our stretch classes created those boats from scratch. And that does not happen overnight. This is a design thinking process that Miss DeLong implemented with her students in stretch class. And the reflective learning that occurred throughout this project was amazing to see in action, because kids were constantly giving each other feedback. They were looking at the specific criteria. They were determining if their boat matched that criteria, both with design and with the mathematical components that they had to implement to ensure that the boat would float and move forward. So this had so many different subject areas that were intertwined into this one learning component. And reflective learning, I'm going to remind everyone, doesn't just happen by, hey, what do you think? It really is a process in which kids understand that there is very clear criteria, and we share that with them, and a very clear goal for what success looks like. Miss DeLong did that very well in this lesson, and as a result, her students' boats were able to float across that pool in fine fashion. Congratulations to our 8th grade students in Miss DeLong's stretch class. You really did an amazing job. We applaud you. Now let's get into some celebrations. All right, we want to give a big shout out to Trevor Tadoni, one of our 8th grade National Junior Honor Society students. He was honored this week because we just found out that he received the National Junior Honor Society Outstanding Achievement Award. He is one of only 500 students across the entire nation to receive this award. And this is based on his character, his leadership, his academic success. He did an amazing job of making sure that he completed his nomination form to be honored for such a prestigious award. And we had an opportunity to honor him this week. Congratulations, Trevor. This is huge. We celebrate you. Next celebration we want to move into is we had an opportunity to honor our Teacher of the Year, Miss Suzanne Shimkus, and our Rose Award winner, Miss Lisa Smar, at our Rose Award ceremony, which was just over the weekend. And Miss DeLong had an opportunity to celebrate both of those individuals. She was there and present along with myself to honor our individuals, not only at Rockwood South, but throughout our district, who are just doing amazing work for children. Last but not least, I want to highlight our Pets in Need event that happened last weekend. And you can see how much both our kids and our staff enjoyed this weekend. I believe 6 pets were adopted on that day, with 4 more who had things in the works to be adopted. And so a shout out to Miss Becky Sabelski and our students who were in Miss Sabelski's academic lab class, because those students assisted in the creation and the design of this event. Whew, so many things to celebrate. We've got awesome things happening here at Rockwood South. And I want to extend a thank you to our amazing staff members. This week, I think it was yesterday, was Principal Appreciation Day. And after 10 years here at Rockwood South, I can just say it has been an amazing experience. I'm so grateful to have an opportunity to work with our staff, our students, and our community. And they really surprised me yesterday and made me feel so special. So thank you for that. On that note, guys, hope you have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget about PSO Color Run tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Hope to see you there. And we, of course, will see our students and staff on Monday. Take care.